The reason we decided to do it because Robin and I partnered together. She had a passion for helping veterans. I had a passion for helping homeless teens, and they kind of bridged together because the effects of poverty and how it affects our community, being able to help both of them together. That's why we came together. But our whole goal and purpose is to be able to bring awareness to homelessness in the Cleveland area, around the state of Ohio, and throughout the United States, and how poverty plays an effect on homelessness among teens. You roughly have like 1.7 million teens that sleep on the streets of the United States. And in Cleveland, there's probably about $5,000 that sleep on the streets. And a lot of them leave home due to abuse, neglect. Some of them run away. You have 40% are gay, lesbian, or transgender. Other reasons they leave home could be just running away from home. They just want to run away and don't want to listen to the rules of their parents. And then you have the ones who are in foster care and they don't want to be in their foster home no more, so they end up running away and you can't find them. And then you have that undetermined number where there's kids that are sleeping on their friends' couches, sleeping at their friends' houses, and you can't get a gauge or a number of that, and those are the ones that a lot of people can't count. But most of them that are on the street are because they ran away or because of drug and alcohol or neglect or physical abuse at home.
Well, our last outreach activity, we collaborated with Mount Haven Baptist Church, and we assisted them in cooking all the breakfast, and we went out to the women's shelter and we went out to the men's shelter, and we provided food and clothing and booklets as well.
And while we were doing that, you probably see on where people were involved, probably like 15 to 20 volunteers. You have a crew who's making the grits, you have a crew who's making the coffee, a crew who's preparing the breakfast sandwiches, then you have another crew who's bagging all the with the breakfast sandwiches, putting them with the juice, giving them snacks, cookies.
What we're doing this morning is preparing 300 breakfast sandwiches. You see people in the background, they're wrapping the sandwiches, putting eggs on there, the sausages. We have one section that's doing the fruit cups. We have another section that's making the grits, as well as another section who's going to wrap the bags with the juice and put them in there. But we're preparing 200 sandwiches for homeless people that are on the streets of Cleveland, men, women, and children.
Our mission is to empower abused and neglected homeless teens on the streets of Cleveland. We do this by providing a street outreach initiative as well as associated with various organizations in Cleveland, Ohio. Currently, right now, there are 3 people heading the organization. Myself, Jamila Crawford as the founder, Robin Benson is our outreach coordinator, and then we have El Hazik Meeks, he's our youth coordinator. This time we saw where when we were delivering the food, the women were not allowed to eat and the children were not allowed to eat within the shelter, which is kind of heart-wrenching because the whole purpose is to be able to provide them a meal to go back in. So with the upcoming months, that's probably going to be a challenge because you're trying to provide a meal to feed to them because some of them didn't eat that night and they have to stay outside and eat. And that kind of bothered me because we're trying to help, but yet the system does not allow them to eat inside. the men's shelter, they were able to take their food back in. Some of the men left. I think there was roughly maybe like about 170 that were there, but a few of them leave early. We were able to give clothes out to some of the men and give coffee out. You see people from ages, from being pregnant, women that's being pregnant, and children from ages 3 years old with their families in the shelter. So that was part of the initiative, but that's what we do every other Saturday. We get up at 5:30, and we're there at 5:30 in the morning, but we're done by 9 o'clock, so we're probably getting up about 5 o'clock, preparing the food right on site, so it's hot right there.
And it's a labor of love, a strong labor of love.
To make donations, help us by going to Sowing Seeds of Hope for Homelessness. You want to go to www.gofundme.com/D as in David, the number 1, V as in Victor, 49, and W as in Walter, as well as www.mgyo.org.